I'm Tanya and welcome to my channel. It's going to be a vinyasa style class. It's going to be free of any sort of chaturangas, up dogs, and down dogs. So this is a great class if you have any sort of hand, wrist, or shoulder injury, but you still like to enjoy some yoga. We're going to start on our backs, then we're going to make our way up to standing, we're going to do a flow, then we'll come back down to a little bit of core work, some back bending before finishing class. As far as props, you might find a block or two to be helpful. We do have a warrior three, and I know a lot of times supporting yourself with your hands to blocks can be really great. We'll also have the option to do that in eagle arms. And then we'll also do a half frog. So if you like to use a strap to make reaching your ankle a little more accessible for you, you may want to go ahead and have that handy. Other than that, you shouldn't need anything else, so just meet me on the mat when you're ready. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our backs. So lay down. Go ahead and make sure your spine is nice and long. Your shoulders are shrugged underneath you or snuggled underneath you so you're nice and supportive. I like to bend my knees and put my feet on the ground. If you find it more comfortable to have your legs extended long, that's fine. Then bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Close your eyes if that feels good for you. And then exhale everything out. Next, with a deep breath, fill up through the belly, the ribs, the upper chest. Hold at the top. And then exhale everything out. Hold at the bottom. Again, inhaling in belly, ribs, chest. Hold at the top. And then exhale everything out. Pausing at the bottom. Again, inhale in belly, ribs, chest. Hold at the top for 3, 2, 1, and then exhale everything out. Pausing at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. Again, inhaling in belly, ribs, chest. Hold at the top for 3, 2, 1, and exhale everything out. Pause at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. From here, now you can find just a regular pace of breathing, expanding your ribs as you draw your breath in, and then drawing the ribs together, activating your core a bit as you exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. If you close your eyes, you can go ahead and gently flutter them open, and then extend your right leg up to the ceiling. Flex the foot, externally rotate the leg at the hip joint, and then bend the knee. Bring the ankle onto the opposing thigh and pull the legs in. So figure 4 on our back. Keep both of your feet nice and active. So keeping them flexed just keeps all of the muscles in our legs engaged, which helps to protect our kneecaps from sliding around a little bit. 2 more breaths here. All right, from here we're going to move to eagle pose on our back. So right leg's going to cross over left, squeeze the legs together, and then right arm underneath. So you can do an eagle hug, or if you have the room, you can go into full eagle arms. Inhale, we're going to find some length here. Touch the toes and the fingertips down on the mat, and then exhale, crunch it in, elbows to knees, lift the shoulders. Inhale, find your length. Exhale, crunch. And again, inhale and exhale. You got 2 more. Inhale and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. All right, from there, unwind the arms. They can come out to a cactus or to a T, and then drop the legs over to the left. You can kind of lift the hip and scooch it around so you can get a nice deep twist here with eagle legs. Breathing here for a few breaths. Last breath. All right, then engage your core. Think about drawing your lower back down to the mat. Let that lift your knees. Uncross your legs and square off your hips again. Other side, left leg long, flex the foot. Externally rotate it at the hip joint, bend the knee, and cross that foot over the thigh and pull both legs in, finding a figure 4. Keep both feet flexed, this side as well. And breathe here. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then from here, move into eagle legs. So left leg can cross over the top of the right leg, eagle legs, and then left arm underneath. So either eagle hug or full eagle arms. Inhale, find some length, touch your toes and your fingers down on the mat. Exhale, crunch, elbows to knee, lift the shoulders. Inhale, find your length. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, length. Exhale, crunch. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. All right, from there, release the arms, release the shoulders. We're gonna go into that twist, so legs can come over to the right this time. And pick your hips up and shimmy them over just a little bit, make a little bit of room. And then pick your head up, turn it on its own axis, look away from your knees. Couple of breaths here. Just allowing the twist to begin to lengthen your body, find a little more space and a little opening. Last breath. All right, engage your core. Think about drawing the lower back down onto the mat. Let that bring your knees back up. Uncross them, and then give the knees a squeeze. Squeeze them in nice and tight. Lift the shoulders, come into a nice tight little ball. And then rock and roll all the way up and over for a forward fold. So you can tick-tock the feet about hips width apart. Grab elbows. Release your head and neck. And if it feels good, you can kind of sway from side to side or shake your head, yes or no. Take a couple of breaths here for 3, 2, 1. Release the hands down to the mat and roll up through the spine. So articulating through the entire spine as we come all the way up to standing. And then once you're there, you can step your feet together. All right, we're gonna take a couple of half salutations. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Palms can come down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand up, arms sweep up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, hands down to the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Lift up as much as you need to find a flat back. And then exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, stand up, arms sweep up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we'll do one more. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up, arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. I hope you're feeling warm already. If you're not, you'll find it in this chair pose. All right, so chair pose, hold. So think about lengthening your spine here, drawing the belly button in. Take a peek down. If you can't see your toes, send your knees back. Breathing here. Last breath. And then we're going to move into eagle pose. So weight pours on the right leg, left leg comes up. You can just do a kickstand, full eagle legs, either option, and then move into eagle arms. So again, you've got that eagle hug option or the full eagle arms. Once you're here, squeeze, 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 everything nice and tight. Lengthen through the spine. Drop the shoulders, lift the elbows, and pull the hands away from the face. Another breath here. And then stand up on the right leg. Float this left leg up. Let's flex the foot, one-legged mountain pose. And then, if you can, maintain your eagle arms as you shift forward and extend this left leg behind you, finding warrior 3 with eagle arms. Moving nice and slowly, straightening both legs, lowering the left hip so it's in line with the right. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Put a bend in your standing knee, extend this left leg longer behind you, and then touch it down, find a crescent lunge. All right, so in your crescent lunge, keep your hips neutral, lower your shoulders, and then find these eagle arms again. Couple of breaths here. And then lift up through the elbows. Let that take you into a little bit of a back bend. Nice and gentle, not overdoing it. And then use your core, realign your spine. Think about drawing your ribs back down to your hips. Unwind the arms, regular crescent lunge, and then open up, warrior two. All right, once you're here, adjust your stance. Make sure you're externally rotating this right leg. A little bit of internal rotation on this left leg to help you release your lower back. Arms are nice and long, parallel to the ground. Breathing here. Last breath. And then we're gonna find some skandasana switches. So you can straighten this right leg. Let's parallel this right foot to start with, and then just bend, more like a side bend here to start. So just switch back and forth a couple times. You can stay high. Make sure the hips are nice and warm. And then if you're ready, then you can drop down. If you drop down, then you're gonna rotate this right leg forward. So knee and foot face the ceiling, and then switch to the front, nice and low. And again, switch to the back. Once more to the front, and then we'll land in the back. All right, so once we're here, find your skandasana, and then we're gonna come all the way to a seat. So lower the hips all the way down. You're gonna pivot to face forward, so facing the front end of your mat, and draw that left knee forward to face the front end. Now, if this is too uncomfortable for you, it might be putting some pressure on your knee. You can grab one of these blocks and put your right butt cheek on a block. That gives you a little more room, and then you can tuck your left leg underneath you. So that's an option. Otherwise, reach forward, grab your foot. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, hinge forward. Think chest to quad here. Head stays in line with your spine. For 3, 2, 1. Lift your chest back up. Release your foot. And then we come back to that skandasana. So left knee lifts up. And once you're here, lift up through the pelvic floor, come back into this full skandasana, and then switch warrior two to the front. Find your warrior two, then pinwheel your left hand down and around, crescent lunge, and then step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, chair pose. All right, find your chair pose here. Again, look down, see your toes. Lengthen through the spine, and then shoulders draw down. From here, shift your weight into your left leg. Right leg comes up, eagle pose. So it can be a kickstand, or full eagle pose, right arm underneath. Eagle hug, or eagle arms. Breathe in here. Finding that one spot to gaze at that's past your arms can be a little difficult, so sometimes you kind of have to soften the gaze a bit. Last breath, and then lift this right leg up as you straighten the left leg. Flex the floating foot, one-legged mountain pose with eagle arms. Breathing here. All right, from here we're moving into that warrior three. So hinge forward with control, right leg extends behind you. Keep the foot flexed and keep the right hip nice and low so it's in line with the left. Breathing here, pressing down into all four corners of that left foot, but then lifting up through the arch. Last breath. Good job. Put a little bend in this left leg, extend the right leg a little longer behind you, and then touch it down. Come up, crescent lunge. All right, once you're here, you can adjust anything that you need to. Maybe you need to widen your stance a little bit. Wherever you're at, power up through the right thigh to keep you nice and lifted. Relax the shoulders. Pull the hands away from the face. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a back bend. So lifting through those elbows, let that be what takes you into the back bend. Nice and gentle here. Last breath. Now use your core, realign your spine. Unwind the arms, crescent lunge. Open up, warrior two. All right, so left foot is forward, nice big open warrior two. Externally rotating with this front leg. A little bit of internal rotation with the back leg. Releases the lower back. Few more breaths here. And then we've got those skandasana switches. So straighten the left leg first, parallel that foot, and then let's keep them high to start with. We'll switch to the back, and then to the front. And then we're already warm because we did this on the other side. So go ahead and drop down, rotate this left leg open, and then switch to the front. Rotate this right leg open to the ceiling. Once more, switch to the back. Stay here, and then we've got to make our way to our seat. So lower the hips down. You can just square them off to the front. Bring this right knee forward. Again, if you need more room, you can use the block. This time, the block's going to go under your left butt cheek, and then you can tuck this right leg underneath you. Otherwise, you can stay here on a seat. Reach for this left foot, lengthen the spine, and then hinge forward. Breathing here. For 3, 2, 1. Lift and lengthen the chest. Release your foot. Open this right knee up to the ceiling. Open the hips again, and then come up Skandasana. So pelvic floor is what helps you lift up. And then come all the way forward, warrior 2 on the left side. Once you find that, right hand down and around, lift the right heel, crescent lunge, and then step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat in the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand up, arms sweep up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, from here, take a big step to the side. It doesn't matter with which foot. We're going to find a wide leg forward fold. So feet are parallel to each other. Hands can come to your hips to start with. Inhale, lift and lengthen like you're trying to lift the ribs up off the hip points. And then exhale, hinge forward. You can release your hands down towards the ground and maybe even walk them behind you. So you're thinking about finding the crown of your head or pulling the crown of your head down towards the floor, but you want to make sure your legs are not so wide that the top of your head actually touches. So if you're finding the top of your head on the ground, you can tick-tock your feet in maybe just a step or so. One more breath here. Walk your hands forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bring your hands up to your hips. Inhale, take you the rest of the way up. And then exhale here. All right, from here, we're going to step forward, find the front of our mat again, and then find about the midpoint of your mat. So we don't need to be too far up on the front. We're going to make our way down to our seat. So arms parallel to the ground, palms face down. Lift the heels up off the floor. Zip your legs together. So think all the way from groin to ankles, nice and tight. And then slowly bend the knees. We're coming into a toe stand. So nice and controlled, all the way down, toe stand. All right, once you're here, if your bum rests all the way on your heels, I want you to lift up about an inch or so. Really nice and active here. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to find a seat. So try and do this nice and lightly. You can lower the heels, lower the bum, and then come up and find a boat pose. So if you need your hands to help you sit down, that's totally fine. I just want you to think about coming down gently instead of just kind of plonking down there. All right, from our boat pose, we're going to reach forward, grab our toes, and take a variation. So you can tuck the knees in nice and tight, separate them, and reach for your foot. So you can grab either your big toe, the outside of your foot. I like to grab the outside of the foot if I put my thumb between the space between my big toe and my second toe. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it works for me. All right, then extend your legs, lift your chest, and switch your gaze up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Finding your balance. It's a little more challenging than a regular boat. All right, and from here, tuck your chin in. So we want to have a neutral spine here. We're going to roll onto our back and find kind of a plow pose, but we're going to keep a hold of our feet. So roll onto your back, toes all the way to the ground. So you can tuck the toes in, and then once you're here, you're going to separate the feet a little wider. So feet are wider than hips width apart, kind of like a straddle seat on our back. Lift it up nice and high. And then from here, we're going to roll forward onto our bum again and see if we can stick it. So roll forward, lift up, and you're going to be kind of in this V-sit, but the legs are in the air. Once you're here, I like to press my feet into my hands a little bit. So kind of a half point, half flank that really activates both sides of the legs, helps me maintain my balance. And then you can gaze up again, holding here for 3, 2, 1. Good job. Return the chin to normal. You can just bend the knees, cross the ankles. We're going to make our way onto our forearms. So from here, just roll over onto your knees and then forearms to the ground. We're going to find a dolphin pose, but I want you to do it with your forearms nice and wide today instead of interlaced, and that's because we're prepping for, we're going to do forearm crow. So hands are on the ground like the number 11, knees walk in nice and tight, and then lift the hips, find your dolphin pose. Once you're up, think about chest coming back through the arms towards the quads. Legs are even, so your heels are hidden behind your toes. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Then come down into your knees. You can take a child's pose, but leave your hands forward. So child's pose with your arms back kind of signals to your body that you're done, and we are not done yet. We've got a few things left to do. One more breath here. All right, and then we're going to find a forearm crow. So when you're doing a hands-free practice, there's not a whole lot you can do in the way of arm balancing, but one of the options is forearm crow. And I'll tell you, there's not like a graceful or great way to get into this. It's going to feel a little awkward. It's going to look a little awkward, but it's a fun pose to do. So we're going to have that same setup. So forearms on the ground, palms face down, arms are making like the number 11. And then you're going to lift your butt, curl your toes under, and you're just going to kind of waddle forwards until your knees are on the outside of the arms, okay? From there, you're gonna clamp them in. So think nice and tight. I don't know if you guys ever used a thigh master. I can tell you how old I am, but think about the thigh master where you're squeezing things together. And then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift the belly button and think almost like a cat pose in the back. So a little bit of a rounding, and then you're just gonna lean forward, and from here, you can point the toes. Breathing here for 3. Press down into the ground. 2, 1, good job, and then you just kind of come out of it, and then find your child's pose again. Take a breath, let it go. All right, good job. Forearm plank, so those forearms back to the ground, just step those feet long behind you. Toes to the mat, find your length. Think length from heels to crown of your head, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With control, lower the knees down, lower the hips down, unwind the spine. We're going to find a Sphinx pose. So once you're here, you can crawl your hands forward a little bit if you need to. You want your elbows under your shoulders or a little bit in front of them. Nice internal rotation with the legs. The top of the thighs, top of the knees, and top of the toes are on the mat. Take a breath. Let it go. All right, we're going to move into that half frog pose. So bring your right hand, bring it about kind of counterclockwise to your left shin. And then from here, you're gonna bend your left leg, reach this left arm back and grab your foot. And this is where I said they might find a strap helpful. So if that's not real accessible to you, you can use your strap around, and you can even pull the strap up over the shoulder. And we're just stretching out our quads here because we're gonna move into locust pose and then a bow pose. If you have a hold of your foot and you want to flip the grip, you can pivot on your palm, bring your fingers out to the side of the mat, and then all the way to front, and then rotate over and pull it in a little more. Couple more breaths here. All right, with control, release that. Left arm back down on the mat, right arm back down, find your Sphinx pose again. A little wag of the tail if you need to release your lower back. And then find stillness, and we'll go on to the other side. So left hand comes across the body a little bit for support. Left leg stays long, bend this right leg, reach back, grab the ankle, and pull it in. If you need to use the belt on this side, that's fine too. Sometimes you need it on one side, not the other. And if you want to switch your grip, then fingers go towards the side, you rotate on the palm, and then you can pull them down. All right, once you're here, wherever you're at, think about squaring off the shoulders a bit, and then keep the foot closer to the glute. So sometimes we flare out wide because we can get a little more compression, but that's bad for your knees. So keep the foot close to the glute to keep it safe for the knees. One more breath here. All right, with control, nice and slowly, release the leg. And then let's just stack our hands. Elbows can be nice and wide, and rest your forehead on your hands and just wag your tail here for a moment. All right, getting set up for a locust pose. Let's interlace our hands behind us, either thumb on top, but just remember which one it is because we're going to do the opposite next time. Press the hip points into the mat, lift the belly button. Grow nice and long, then lift the shoulders, float the hands, float the legs. Find a little more length, and then a little more lift. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Release that. And you can leave your hands here or you can release them to your side. Just wag your tail. Take a breath. All right, other side. So opposite thumb on top. So it's probably going to be the awkward hold for you. Lengthen that behind you. Lift your arms up off your bum. Lift your chest. Lift your legs. Grow a little longer and then lift a little more. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Release that down. You can release your hands, stack them, forehead to hand, and windshield wiper or wag your tail. All right, next up we've got bow pose, which is why we did the half frog, to make sure that our thighs were nice and stretched out. So if you do not like bow pose and you want to stick with 2 more locuses, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, same kind of setup here. So press the hips gently into the mat, lift up through the belly button, then bend the knees, bring the feet up towards the glute. Reach back. We're going to grab from the outside first. So grab the outside of your heels. Make sure your knees stay hips width apart, and then kick back and let that kick back motion be what lifts your chest. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Release that back down. You can release your hands, and this time, since your feet are already in the sky, if you just want to windshield wiper from side to side and to side, you can. All right, second bow pose. This time we're going to grab our feet from the inside. So grabbing the ankles of the feet from the inside. It's going to open the chest a little more. If that's not accessible to you, then keep it from the outside. All right, check your knees. Make sure they're hips width apart again. Feet are flexed, and then kick back. Kick back takes you up. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Release that back. Release your legs. You can stack your hands and windshield wiper the legs from side to side and side to side. All right, release the legs out nice and long. We're going to come back onto our forearms, find that Sphinx pose, curl the toes under, lift the hips. Forearm plank pose. So it's always good to do a little bit of gentle core work. This isn't so gentle, but do some sort of core work after doing back bends, just to make sure that everything is nice and aligned and activated and safe again. All right, from here, tuck the knees in, and then just cross the ankles and sit back. I'm gonna take a forward fold. So legs out nice and long in front of you, flex the feet, and then plug the femurs into the hip sockets. Inhale here, and then exhale, hinge forward. Any forward fold you want. So you can grab your toes, you can grab the outside of your feet, you can grab your shins. If you have that belt, you can grab that. Breathing here. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release that. And then we're going to come onto our back. So all the way down onto your backs. Feet are going to walk out nice and wide towards the sides of the mat. And then once they're there, you're going to lay both knees over to the left. Once you do that, pick up your left foot, bring it, place it on top of the right thigh, and give yourself a little assist. Arms can come out to a T or maybe cactus. And we'll breathe here. For 3, 2, 1. Release this left leg back down on the mat. Use your core to bring your back down onto the mat. Lift the knees. Take a breath between sides. Let it go. And then other side. Knees fall over to the right. Hover the right foot up, bring it on top of the left thigh, and pull yourself down. So a little assist, pulling the left leg down. Should feel some nice length kind of through the left hip flexor, maybe even the left psoas muscle a bit. Taking a couple more breaths here for 3, 2, 1. Release this right leg. Use your core, unlined, lift the knees. Take a breath. Let it go. Starting to slow down and cool off here. We're going to take a floating butterfly. So like a regular butterfly, but on our back. So you can grab your feet and pull your feet down towards your groin, and then open your knees nice and wide.
If you want to go from here into kind of a ninja baby, you can leave your right leg where it is, nice and tight, and then extend this left leg long to the side. It doesn't have to completely straighten. And then pull it back in. Now leave the left leg where it is, extend the right leg long, and pull it back in. All right, if you need any other wiggles or anything before you make your way into your shavasana, now's your opportunity for that. Otherwise, you can extend your legs long on the mat. Extend your arms anywhere that feels comfortable for you. Take a nice deep breath in, inhaling in, and exhaling out. And I want you to intentionally relax here. So relax any muscles or any tension you have in your shoulders, in your lower back, in your hips. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit. And then from there, just kind of flop. Get nice and heavy on the mat. Just allow the ground to support you here. Let your inhales be nice and soothing. And your exhales relaxing. Again, nice soothing breath in. And nice relaxing breath out. And I encourage you to take several minutes and enjoy a very well-earned shavasana. You don't need me around to enjoy your peace, so I will leave you here. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.